Naruto Beyond the Pages. Naruto, a story about a boy with a dream. An outcast whose desire to fit in eventually led him to becoming the most respected ninja in his village. This series is a masterpiece, but on a deeper level, it speaks to us all in a sort of way. It shows us how hard loneliness can be. For so many, this is what made the series so relatable. We all saw a piece of ourselves in Naruto. I could go on for hours talking about how deep and emotionally charged this series is, but for now, I wish to go a little deeper and discuss with you about the inspiration behind Misashi Kishimoto's best-known work and the legacy it left behind. Welcome to the Amagi. Before we begin, we publish a new video every week, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. The Amagi's reach stretches beyond just this channel, so if you're a fan of us, please consider subscribing to our other channels and following us on all of our social media accounts. Help us reach our goal of passing 100,000 followers on all of our accounts by the end of the year. To say that Naruto is one of the most popular anime and manga series in the world may be an understatement. For so many, it proved to be the first step into the world of anime that has come to be commonplace in most of our homes. Spanning over 700 chapters, 720 episodes, and 11 movies, to say it's had a good run, one that hasn't ended as Boruto is continuing on where Naruto left off, would be another understatement. But beyond the world we know in the pages, there lies a hidden history, one that provided an inspiration for our favorite ninja and influenced what we have all come to know and love. From an early point in his life, Misashi Kishimoto loved manga and anime. The two figures who he came to respect and admire the most were Akira Toriyama and KATSUHIRO Otomo, both of which were award-winning mangaka. Akira Toriyama, if you didn't already know, was the author of Dr. Slump and a little series you may know as Dragon Ball. Katsuhiro Otomo was the author of AKIRA, the manga, not the author we just mentioned, which was released by Kodansha, the same publishing group responsible for the serialization of other great manga, such as Attack on Titan and Blazer Drive, the latter of which was actually written by his brother. Kishimoto and his twin brother SEISHI Kishimoto were influenced by many of these anime and manga at a young age. He would often find himself drawing the characters from these shows and manga with his brother and would design concepts for superheroes based on the series Kinnikuman. However, the wheels of time grinded forward and the responsibilities and pressures of high school seemed to all but crush these childhood fantasies. It wasn't until the AKIRA movie was released that he returned to the interests of his childhood. He attended an art college and began working on his first manga. He had hoped to break the mold and enter a submission to Weekly Shonen Jump, the same magazine that Dragon Ball was released in, and still is to this day, for a manga series in the chanbara genre. However, in that same year, he began to read two manga series by authors HIROAKI Samura and Nobuhiro Watsuki that used the same genre he was hoping to base his new manga after. The year after, he began submitting entries to various manga magazines. He found that his style was more geared for seinen, or adult audiences. He wished to write for Shonen Jump, but just found that he wasn't suited for writing for younger audiences. It wasn't until after he watched Hashire Melos that he was inspired to begin researching character designs from the animators. Later, he met Tatsuya Nishio, the designer of the anime adaptation of Ninku, a series that Kishimoto was already a fan of. Having learned the tricks of the trade from some of the greats, he began to work on his dreams of writing a shonen manga. He later went on to submit his first successful work, Karakuri, which won him a place in Shueisha's Hop Step Award. Afterward, he began working on the serialization of the manga that helped him finally get into the world of manga creation and was offered a one-shot in the magazine. He scrambled to get it ready for the 2-week deadline, which ultimately sealed the fate of Karakuri. With the failure of his first shonen manga, he decided to go back to his roots and begin writing seinen manga once more. However, with the encouragement of his editor, he was convinced to give one final push into the world of shonen. This led to the birth of the manga series we have come to know and love as Naruto. Having previously been published as a one-shot for Akamaru Jump, the series needed a lot of love. Previously focusing on magic and sorcery surrounding a protagonist named after a fish cake, symbolizing Kishimoto's obsession with ramen noodles, a trait carried over to the namesake of the series, they decided to take it in the direction that would appeal more to audiences by adding in the concept of ninjas. Beyond Naruto, the design of Kiru from Kishimoto's one-shot, Karakuri, as well as the androids with red eyes from the same manga, appear to be the basis for the design of Sasuke of the Uchiha clan. It finally launched in 1999 and became an immediate hit with the demographic. It was so successful that Kishimoto won the Rookie of the Year award for it. Eventually, the time came where it would be adapted into the better-known anime series. When it was, he asked Tetsuya Nishio, the designer that he had used to better learn the style of shonen manga from, to oversee the anime. In America, Viz Media acquired the rights to publish the series. It quickly became one of Viz Media's top manga and accounted for 10% of all manga sales in the United States, which earned the comic a Quill Award for Best Graphic Novel. Responding to this, Kishimoto spoke on the subject of his fans overseas, saying, "I'm very glad that the American audience has accepted and understood ninja. It shows that the American audience has good taste, because it means they can accept something previously unfamiliar to them." During his time writing Naruto, Kishimoto came into contact with Eiichiro Oda, the author of another critically acclaimed series, One Piece, a man he would call his rival, a title Oda would agree heavily with. Together, along with TITE KUBO, the author of Bleach, they formed the three most popular manga within Shonen Jump's lineup, that later became known as the Big Three. Beyond this, Kohei Horikoshi, author of My Hero Academia, cited Naruto and One Piece as some of the manga that inspired him when writing his manga series. Kishimoto spoke of Horikoshi's work, stating that it would do very well overseas. Beyond this, Kishimoto had a good working relationship with author Yoshiro Togashi, creator of the Hunter x Hunter series and Yu Yu Hakusho, of whom they shared a chief editor. Kishimoto regarded Togashi as one of his favorite mangaka, being heavily influenced by his work. In the past, Kishimoto had been accused by others of ripping off Togashi's work, such as the similarities between the Chunin exams and Hunter exams. But in truth, Togashi and Kishimoto considered themselves friends and would often discuss and share ideas. Kishimoto also worked on some of the Naruto movies, such as Road to Ninja, though the movie remains considered non-canon. He also worked on the movies Naruto the Last and the Boruto movie, both of which acted as a bridge between the two series. On November 10, 2014, after 15 years of successful action, the Naruto storyline came to a close with the 700th and final chapter of Shippuden. The year after, however, Kishimoto announced his supervision of the monthly comic BORUTO Naruto Next Generation. This story, however, was not planned to be written by Kishimoto, but instead Ukyo Kodachi, who had previously helped write the Boruto movie. With his new free time, he proceeded to work on a new project known as Samurai 8, which was released on May 13, 2019. Samurai 8 was Shonen Jump's first new series after the start of the Reiwa period, a time that marked the ascension of Emperor Naruhito, sounds like Naruto, Emperor Naruto, Hokage of Japan, who replaced his father, who had abdicated the throne the day prior, marking the end of the Heisei period. Samurai 8, however, failed to make an impact like Kishimoto's previous story had, and was cancelled March 23, 2020. In November of the same year, the previous writer of Boruto, Ukyo Kodachi, stepped down from writing the Boruto manga, and Kishimoto returned to the series, much to the delight of many fans, who had been dissatisfied by the turn in tone that the Boruto series had taken since the end of Shippuden. Currently, Kishimoto is still writing the series. The series itself has inspired so much. It was inspired by some of the greatest manga in history and by some of the greatest mangaka in all of Japan. And in turn, it became one of the greatest manga franchises in the world. It seems to match the story of Naruto to a T. Someone with grand dreams that started during their youth, facing hardship and moments of doubt before finally emerging fulfilled. Misashi Kishimoto went from nobody to Hokage of manga, and creator of one of the grandest manga of all time. One adored by fans the world over. The story is sad yet heartwarming, but the best of all the stories Kishimoto could tell would be his own. The passion of a writer is an incredible thing. Each character carries one part of their personality, and Naruto is no different. There is one story I heard that pretty much warmed my heart. Like, for anyone who remembers the last Naruto movie, they'll realize that for the entirety of the movie, Hinata had been working on a scarf for Naruto, and when it was shredded, she began to mend it, even in the face of Toneri Otsutsuki. It was an important thing that symbolized Hinata's love for Naruto, but the reason why the scarf was chosen as opposed to anything else was due to a personal experience that Kishimoto had with his own love. In 2003, Kishimoto was married. He had explained that his wife, when they were not yet married, had knit him a scarf as Hinata did. He cited this as the reason why he chose the scarf. He'd been told by the staff of the movie that using a scarf as a romantic device was cliché. However, he moved forward anyway, as a scarf was what his wife had made for him. While it seems small, that one moment was something very important to Kishimoto, and he took that, perhaps one of his most treasured memories, and placed it into the movie to prove how much heart he had devoted to the stories he had been telling. The story of Naruto is about far more than a boy who was an outcast. It's about more than a child who dreamed of becoming Hokage. It's a story about a young man who admired the people who had left a lasting effect on the world through their wonderful stories. Dragon Ball, AKIRA, Doraemon, NINKU, they may be fantasy, but for some, they are so much more. They're an escape from reality, a place where the mind can roam free, and a place where anything is possible. A place where you can be or do anything, even if the world tells you no. That was the message of Naruto. Freedom is something that even the most unlikely of people can find in the most unlikely of places. And because one man decided to chase his dream of writing the stories he so cherished, people the world over are Naruto running forward through life, and Area 51, shouting to believe it, even when your life is making it hard to do so. This is far more than the story of Naruto. This is the story of Misashi Kishimoto. This is your story. And this is why it will always be a legendary title. For years to come, the name Naruto will be spoken of, and will become just as much of a classic as the likes of Fist of the North Star or Astro Boy. It's something that will live on not only on screen, but in our hearts, well beyond the pages. Did you like the video? What was your favorite experience in the Naruto series? What was your favorite scene or panel? Were you happy that Hinata married Naruto? Or were you like Kishimoto's wife, chastising him for not making it Sakura? Feel free to let us know in the comments below, and be sure to click that like button and subscribe for more videos like this. Thanks for watching. Peace.